For thousands of years, we've looked to nature for remedies. But what if one of the oldest, most advanced pharmacies on the entire planet wasn't a building at all, but was actually inside a busy, buzzing beehive? Well, that's what we're digging into today, the absolutely incredible science of bee medicine. It's a pretty wild question when you stop and think about it, right? We usually think of stuff from bees as, food or maybe a novelty. But modern science is starting to prove what ancient cultures have known all along. These things are potent medicines, and the beehive is just this treasure chest of therapeutic compounds. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at 4 key things from this natural pharmacy. We'll start with honey. Is it just fancy sugar? Then we'll check out this bee glue called Propolis. After that, the mysterious royal jelly. And finally, the really potent, but also pretty risky bee venom. Let's see what the science has to say.
All right, first up, honey. Its reputation as a healer is legendary. It stretches all the way from ancient battlefields where it was probably a soldier's best friend, right, into the super sterile rooms of our modern hospitals. And listen, this is not just some old folklore. The historical record is crystal clear. We're talking about the Ebers Papyrus, one of the oldest medical books in existence, listing almost 150 different remedies that use honey. Hippocrates, the father of medicine himself, used it. Roman legions literally carried it with them into battle to slap on wounds. This stuff has a serious track record. But that's the real question, isn't it? For centuries, people just knew that it worked. They had no idea how it worked. But now, thanks to modern science, we can peek under the hood and see the brilliant chemistry that's going on. So, the first weapon in honey's arsenal is something called the Osmotic Effect. And honestly, it's just brilliantly simple and totally brutal. Honey is so jam-packed with sugar and has so little water that when it comes into contact with bacteria, it literally sucks the water right out of their cells. They just dehydrate and die. It's that simple. But wait, it doesn't stop there. Honey also wages this kind of gentle chemical warfare. See, an enzyme the bees add to it creates this slow, steady release of hydrogen peroxide. Yeah, the same stuff in the brown bottle in your cabinet. But it's in these tiny, constant amounts that kill germs without hurting the healthy tissue around it. It's an incredibly smart delivery system. Now, most honey has these amazing properties, but some types, well, they're true superstars. And right at the top of that list is Manuka Honey, all the way from New Zealand. It's got an extra secret weapon that makes it uniquely powerful. That secret weapon is a compound called methyl glyoxal, or MgO for short. Medical-grade Manuka has these crazy high levels of MgO, and that gives it some serious antibacterial firepower, so much so that it works even against modern superbugs like MRSA that are resistant to our strongest antibiotics. And this is where it gets really amazing. This shows just how far honey has come from being just a folk remedy. The FDA has actually approved medical-grade honey products for use in hospitals. We're talking about treating some of the toughest wounds out there, like diabetic ulcers and really bad burns. Okay, let's move on to our next substance, and this one is a big deal. We're talking about Propolis, the real unsung hero of the hive. If honey is the medicine, you can think of Propolis as the pharmacy's security system. It's the hive's immune shield. The bees make this stuff, this bee glue, from tree resin. They use it to seal every single crack and coat every surface, basically shrink-wrapping their entire home in an antimicrobial layer. This makes the inside of a beehive one of the most sterile environments you can find anywhere in nature. It's the whole basis of their social immunity. What's really cool is that Propolis doesn't just work on its own. It's also a powerful teammate for modern medicine. It can actually have a synergistic effect. Think of it like a power-up for our conventional antibiotics, making them more effective, especially against those tough, resistant superbugs. It's a whole new strategy in that fight. All right, for our next section, we are looking at 2 substances that generate a lot of buzz, but they also come with some pretty serious risks: royal jelly and bee venom. And here, the line between medicine and poison can get really, really thin. So let's break this down. On one side, you've got these incredible promises. Royal jelly is hyped for everything from anti-aging to skin repair. But then you look over at the proof and peril column, and things get tricky. The human studies are small, they're inconclusive, and there's a very real risk of a bad allergic reaction. Same story with bee venom. It shows real potential for inflammatory conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. But the big studies just aren't there yet, and the danger is huge. A life-threatening allergic reaction called anaphylaxis is a major risk. And this is the single most important thing to remember when it comes to bee venom. This is absolutely not a do-it-yourself therapy. Because of that risk of anaphylactic shock, any kind of bee venom treatment has to be done under the strict supervision of a trained medical professional who knows what they're doing and is ready to handle a severe emergency. So let's pull all of this together. What's the big takeaway here? Well, it means that the beehive is so much more than just a source of honey. It's this tiny, living biofactory, and its health is directly, deeply connected to our own. So what have we learned from our trip to nature's pharmacy? Well, first, we've got honey. It's not just a folk remedy anymore. It's a scientifically proven, clinically accepted treatment for wounds. Then there's Propolis, a powerful immune booster and a potential new ally in our really critical fight against antibiotic resistance. And finally, while royal jelly and bee venom are way too risky for your home medicine cabinet right now, they represent these exciting new frontiers for medical research, full of promise, that scientists are working hard to unlock safely. Ultimately, what this all means is that when we talk about saving the bees, we're not just talking about ecology or farming. We're talking about preserving a living pharmacy, one that could hold the keys to future medicines and treatments. Protecting them is a direct investment in our own health. And that kind of leaves us with one last, pretty sobering thought. With bee populations in trouble all over the world, we really have to ask ourselves, if this incredible natural pharmacy is dying, what happens to all the medicine that's locked inside?